If you were a Covenant streamer on the streamer open beta, you suck. Like a lot. You were absolutely dog shit. Half of the people in the wars, at least in the last war, weren't even past level 30. The few that were max level, the few streamers that did participate in wars and actually got to the end, well, I learned a very valuable lesson that none of you want to lead anybody. When it's not a Zerg and all of your player base outnumbering the other ones and it comes down to strategic gameplay, you can't do it. The performance was so bad that we have people who are in 7th place on the Marauders, which is currently the #1 faction, beating out the #2 person in the Covenant. And if we scroll a little bit farther down, it looks like we have some people who barely even played the game. I think it becomes even more embarrassing when one of the top streamers on the platform, Shroud, is even lower level than me. And I'll be willing to admit, I'm a Covenant streamer. Yeah, I did not get max level. So no, I did not lead. I was also not part of this sponsorship at all. So my numbers are not on here. If they were, they probably would not be very good. However, at least I'm not making excuses of why we're not performing well. We had some setbacks, right? Shroud wasn't able to get on day 1, had internet problems. Fine. But Shroud's not the make-all to be-all, right? There's 10 other streamers. What were they doing? 2 of them were clearly napping. But the excuses that I've heard throughout this entire beta is crazy. No one wants to just straight up admit that 3 things. We are outclassed strategically through communication. #1, absolutely. Syndicate and the Marauders are able to take control, communicate what needs to be done, and get it done. 2, we're outclassed in levels. We did not have people who were hitting max. They weren't hitting max. Very few Covenant players, I would say that our average level was probably considerably lower. Why is that? Because we didn't do well, so less people wanted to continue playing. And 3, their gear score is better. A lot better. So we were outclassed in every single way. Through experience, levels, and gear score. That's why we lost. The biggest one being experience through leadership. It's very clear that we, and the majority of the streamers that are on the Covenant, do not have strong leadership experience. Because when it comes down to no longer being able to zerg the players, and it becomes the 50-50, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to direct their people. They don't know how to come up with good strategies. And all those excuses that I've heard many excuses. One of the few biggest ones I heard at the very beginning is that 2 hours into the server, Syndicate owned 5 territories, which is a load of horse shit. These streamers, not only did they have bad leadership skills, have like some kind of delusion that they gotta make up to make sure that they can do this. Like 5 territories in 2 hours? I'm sorry, I came onto the server 6 hours in because I was on the wrong server at first because I wasn't really paying attention, and that's on me. And so I came onto the server much later and leveled up again. And so 6 hours in the server, they had 3 territories. They didn't have 5 in 2 hours. They had 3 territories in 6 hours. Many of the streamers flat out said, I don't like the lead. I'm the leader, but I don't like telling grown men what to do. Then why are you a leader? Because you're not a leader. You don't have telling people what to do. You're giving them direction. If you can't give them direction, don't be a leader. Or find somebody who could do it for you. And take a back seat. I think this is a time that all Covenant streamers who have a million excuses, faction leader or just leaders of the faction, sit back and say that there's not excuses for this, right? There is no, oh, well, they did this or they had more experience or this. All these things are true. But anybody could come back and go to the top. Because everyone wants to say, Syndicate, they're so great, they're so grand. They had to play, 1,000 hours of playtime in the beta. But they're not #1. They're actually pretty far behind #1. Some of these people probably do have a lot of hours and before the beta was out as well. But I know a lot of these people don't. So reality comes down to it, you should look at your own flaws and what you did wrong this time around. Because I know that a lot of streamers don't even want to be on servers with other streamers anymore after this, when it actually launches. I wonder why that is. Just little bruised egos, maybe? Oh no.